Hi there, this is another episode of Ronan Nazarin Talks. I'm one of your hosts, Solitary Ronan, joined, of course, by Nazarin Prod and regular collaborators, Conan the Vulgarian and Chris. How are we all doing today? And we're going to talk about our 10 favourite films from the 60s, even though there's probably about 45 of them.
Now, do you notice he said, how are we all doing today? And then no chance to even answer before he moved on.
It was rhetorical.
Right.
Yeah, it
Graham
was like,
Norton, watch out. Hey?
Yeah. And basically, it was like, I don't care. I could not care less how you are. I've got a job to do. I will do it.
Get the pleasantries out of the way.
Yep.
Yes,
So,
as I said before we recorded, when I went to compile this list, I realized that I have at least 30 films from the top 60 that are my top 5 films of all time. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, I love that film," we go, "What's my top 5 films of all time?" But it actually hasn't made the top 20, actually, as it turns out, of the 60s.
Yeah, so shallow.
Shallow. Well, that's me. I mean,
yes.
If there's one thing you can say about me, Peter, shallow.
Yeah, my list's all over the place too. I mean, if you look at my list on Letterboxd to this, it's going to be very different. It's just like, because you do have like 30 or 40, and you just try to choose whatever one you like that week most.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, the 60s are, I think, in the mainstream kind of overlooked. Because obviously the 70s and 80s always get kind of the credit, but the 60s, from a world perspective, are pretty incredible.
Yep. So, and we're doing a random thing. We go from decade to decade, whatever we feel like doing, rather than saying we have to do this one now or we have to do this one now. We're rebels, so we're going to the 60s. Well, they thought they were rebels, but they really weren't. But they liked the money.
Yes.
So, who wants to start? Who's
I think we should let a guest start, even though they're regulars.
Yeah, we'll let the Vulgarian start then. Put pressure on him to have a great first one. That means I'm last. I'll be go down very clockwise.
So we'll take all your choices.
Yeah, so you can watch me just go, oh.
You'd be best actually going 1 to 10 to get your choices in. Actually, if I've learned anything, you go the reverse order and you'll be all right. Here.
People are going to enjoy watching me suffer. Don't worry about it. Again, I've got my Letterboxd list up as well. My Letterboxd of the best films of the 60 to 5-star ones, just in case, because I don't trust these buggers at all.
To pick good films and great films,
I know it's like
saying
they are very untrustworthy.
Well, my first one is definitely unique to my list. I'm sure that it is not on your list. So it's Fellini's Satyricon, my favorite Fellini movie, which is a weird thing to say, but that's how it is. But it's this crazy, weird, fragmentary film set in the ancient Rome, and it explores history and how it's alien to us. So even though it's about the past, it feels like a science fiction movie in that way. And there are moments there that are very coherent, but overall it's so messy and it jumps from place to place to place. But I love it as an aesthetic and mood piece. It's both beautiful and ugly, and it's very mesmerizing and intense and crazy. And yeah, I don't really understand the film that well, but it's just so incredibly interesting to me, and I have seen it several times and it keeps getting better. But I could have gone with other Fellini movies here too, but this is just clearly my favorite. So that's my first pick, and it kind of is a good summation of my list. I have these types of movies quite a lot on my list. So
yeah. Well, as the 60s, so you're fine.
Yeah, strangely, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't either. It's like Fellini's weird with me. I like some of them, but something about it puts me off a little bit. And I know I should watch more of them. It's just like I think you're meant to love them. I much prefer Antonioni, actually, who's the other one you're meant to love, but I actually do love Antonioni films more than Fellini films.
I haven't made it to that far. I've been sort of doing them sort of chronologically, man, haven't got to the 60s Fellini yet.
Yes, we're just showing how ignorant we all are straight away. Just
absolutely,
apart from
all of our
Bowie.
lists are null and void because haven't even seen the Fellini films from the 60s. Jesus,
I know. We're disgusting people.
Well, my first pick isn't a Fellini film. Spoiler alert: there isn't any Fellini in my list.
Right.
This is a film I've only seen twice, so how on earth can it be in my favourites? Because it's just so amazing. A film that will never be made again. An absolute advertisement for insanity. It's War and Peace.
Yeah, straight away he takes one of mine's.
Absolutely. I don't think you'd have this on it. Absolutely insane. Bondarchuk suffered heart attacks. The Russian army was involved. They emptied all the museums so they could get accurate props, all because they hated the King Vidor film with Henry Fonda and Audrey Hepburn so much, and they went, hold our beers. And we were going to do War and Peace properly. It's one of the most beautiful films you'll ever watch in your life. They can't do a 4K. It's against the law because people's eyeballs would pop out their head. Every frame you can pause and it is literally like those Napoleonic paintings. The canvas is just, it's absolutely stunning. Even the parts where, there's not that much going on story-wise. Just the look of the film is just absolutely stunning. They built half of Moscow just to burn it down. There's no CGI fire in this one. Just 422 minutes of pure art. I'm sure some people might call it pure arse, but they're wrong. It's just how humans actually made this is beyond me. Bondarchuk's a savage. And it's just an incredible piece of work that even if you've only seen it twice, it's completely unforgettable, and images just stick in your mind forever. One of the greatest scenes of all time, set in a cabbage patch. It's incredible.
Wow.
That's great, yeah. But yeah, sneaky bastard.
I didn't think you would have that, to be honest.
Have you looked on my letterboxes on my top 10 of the 60s? Yep.
That would have required homework, Peter.
Yeah.
That's something I'm famed for anyway. But yes, I'm
Only
surprised
6
it's not
weeks to
Paris.
prepare.
Actually, there you go. Yeah, well, that's true. Okay, me next. Number 10 for me. A film I'm not sure anybody else will have this, but I could check Peter's list just and move one in here just to make sure. I'm going for Jacques Becker's The True, or The Whole. A prison escape film. And one that I'd heard was very good, and then you see the runtime, and it's just about 2 hours of a runtime. You think that's too long for a prison escape film? Like it's just a prison escape film is the prototypical 90-minute. Let's get in and out and done, and yet there's not a wasted second through this idea of person from the outside comes in while they're already hatching an escape plan, so to speak, to put a hole in the floor and escape. Can they trust them? Can they trust each other? There's high stakes of trying to get out of this situation, and it does this masterful thing of making you feel like you're one of the prisoners in there with them, sort of watching on, and you take on the concerns. You're as worried for yourself as you are for anybody on the film. It's just a really entertaining film. I don't know if it's that deep in terms of like philosophical kind of theming, because prison sort of has a couple of very built-in tropes to it in general. It sort of plays on those a lot. But yeah, really entertaining and really fun and a really, really good film.
Yeah, Jacques Becker's another director that died way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that film is that I just checked the other day the top 100 French films on Letterboxd, and that's actually the number one on Letterboxd. So that's pretty crazy, but it's a not crazy, but great film, I think, too, and maybe the best prison film, although A Man Escaped from France, I probably prefer that, but that's up there too. So, yeah.
I have that one. It's on my backlog. it's literally on my backlog. It's like one of those ones. It's like I keep seeing this. I should watch this, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. Well, if you had watched it, maybe I'd have just stolen it from you, Peter. So it's probably It's on the backlog.
It's a kindness I didn't watch it to myself. I'll get the obvious one for me out the way, so no one steals it from me, which is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay. I had it on my list. I shall replace it. Yes.
Yes. Oh, I did it to someone else. Good. Yeah. It's one of my it's on my letterbox top of four of my favorite films. So yeah, it's a wonderful film. It's beautiful. It's some people loathe it for passion. I either love or hate it. It's that kind of film. That just atmosphere at all, just the idea of space, of evolution, of where we're going. And it's so visual and so non-verbal for most of the time. So you get a chance to soak in the film and actually let your mind wander through it. A lot of times, so I've seen it multiple times and can watch multiple times more, and I can just relax, enjoy it for different reasons. So it's a beautiful film, just wonderful. So yeah, I thought I'd better see this now before there's a chance to take this one.
It was on the short list, but I left it out for obvious reasons.
Well, you didn't want to see me cry?
Still probably the best looking sci-fi film ever made.
Yeah. It looks really great.
It is phenomenally looking.
I first saw it as a child in a black and white television, and obviously confused the hell out of me. I still think there's too many monkeys in it, but it's still amazing in the fact that nobody's bettered the space stuff, and it was made in 1968, and still it looks better than everything that came after it.
Yeah. Don't you see too many monkeys for every film, though? Isn't that your complaint about every film made? Too many monkeys.
I mean, the only crossover he's lacking is George C. Scott playing a monkey. And that would have been like the ultimate kryptonite for
Yeah.
How do you know he wasn't in one of them?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. And given how conflicted Ronan usually is, that might actually go down as his greatest film of all time, his favorite film of all time. Two things that he hates more than anything, becoming his favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Bulgarian, Conan.
Well, I'm sure that this isn't on any of your list either, but it's Jean-Luc Godard's La Chinoise, my favorite film by him, one of his 60s films, but not one of his most popular 60s films.
It's cheerful student film.
Yeah, this is kind of about the Maoist students and young people in France, and also the leftist communist kind of infighting at that time, when that was kind of the peak of French intellectual culture. In the 20th century, you had all these rock star philosophers and stuff at that time, so it's very interesting. But this is kind of Godard looking at his own views and examining them and even making fun of them, looking at them critically, and that's very interesting. But the film is also about, it's like very political and serious in many ways, but it's also quite funny, not like laugh out loud funny, but it's a film that makes you smirk a lot. And as always, there are so many references to different philosophers and literature and stuff, so it can feel a bit overwhelming, but it's still very interesting and like even fun movie to watch, even though it's like serious art house. But I've always loved this and watched it several times. But I could have had Vivre sa vie here as well, as that's my close second, but this is just my favorite. So,
yeah, I like that one as well a lot. But I think you're doing Godard, so I just sort of thought I'll leave Godard to the Finnish boy. That's his area. I'll let him do it. Because here's the thing: no matter what Godard I'd chosen, you'd have chosen it anyway. And it's like, well, I'll just leave it to him. But I liked a lot of Godard from the '60s as well. But I need to watch again. It's a big thing. Is like I've seen a lot of them in like the 2000s, but I haven't really rewatched them recently. Even though I've got quite a lot of them on like Blu-ray.
Yeah, only dipped my toes into Goddard because he scares me with his beady wee eyes.
Yeah, that whole period of Godard, I've seen a couple of them kind of stand more of historical artifacts. I think at that time in France, I think I've seen a lot of films from that sort of late 60s period where they're sort of mapping out what happened far better than any kind of news report could do. So not just Godard, but yeah. I don't know if I enjoy them enough to say, God, they really resonate with me in terms of like great films, but they're really, really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Weekend. It didn't make my list, but I really like Weekend. That's really good because it's the atmosphere of the time. It really works.
And he did that in the same year even. So I mean, he made like 3 films this year, I think 67. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a bunch of good ones. It's also the kind of all kind of come together in my head a little bit. And it's like, what one was that title? Because I know the film, but I can't remember what title. You know what I mean? Because I watched them all like in a run. So it's like, I'm kind of forgetting what one is what. I like the Rolling Stone ones they did. That you had to re-edit and then you got the proper version years later. We intercut Rolling Stones with people talking about politics, monologuing about politics, which was great. It was just somehow it worked really well as a film, but it was not what they were wanting.
So for my next choice, I'm gonna pretend I'm a human being for 5 minutes.
Don't strain yourself.
Never put it off.
I know, I'll try not to. Don't want to pull a muscle. My dad took his dad to see this film. He said, "Oh, we'll go to the pictures and see a wee film," and it ended up being over 4 hours on a screen that was a wrap around the entire building. And then it's one of the films that my dad passed on to me, and it's Lawrence of Arabia. The 4K looks ridiculously good. We've waited a long time for it, but it's so worth it. Is it flawed? Yes. Is it as good as I saw it the first time? No. Was the second half could have been shorter? Yes. But it's still the definition of epic. And again, if you like war films and you like history films, however true they are or not, but for me, it's the psychological part of the character that's fascinating, and what's going on inside his head. So you have this epic canvas, but this kind of psychological portrait of somebody who was not that stable. This is the only time I'll maybe look like a human. But Lawrence of Arabia, which has been almost a family heirloom, and I won't pass it on to my children because I don't have any and won't have any. So Lawrence of Arabia will never be seen again.
Will die
by my family. Yes, it'll die with me.
Yeah, I rewatched it not that long ago, and your kind of journey with it sort of describes mine. I sort of can't forgive, or definitely knocks it down an awful lot with the length that they use at the end of it. Because all the things are true. It is one of the most stunning films ever made to this day. David Lean really knew what he was doing in that way. And there are certain parts of it you just go, this is just utterly incredible. But then I don't know. The more that I watch films, and especially these big epics, and kind of go, this is an hour too long. Like this isn't even just a bit long. This is an hour too long for some pieces. I sort of, it has a big knock. Whereas there's other long films that you rewatch and go, Jesus, this is real. This really makes it worthwhile, if you know what I mean, and gives it extra room to breathe. But yeah, I mean, what a testament to filmmaking.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a long time. It's on my rewatch list, which this is just for Chris, which I will watch on my projector.
Oh, good.
My 4K projector now.
I shall drink. Oh, what? Jeepers creepers.
Yeah, the 4K is stunning.
Yeah. It's a 4K projector.
It's incredible.
I indulged. I'm a 4K projector. So I just wanted to say it to you so you'd feel bitter and twisted. And
you mean more bitter and twisted than my normal state?
Behind this cheerful facade, I know there's torture.
Yep. I mean, you're very true, actually. Which is a really nice segue, actually, to my number 9. So I'm going to take one of the big hitters out at this point, and I'm going to take Harakiri by Saki Kobayashi. One of those ones. This could have been anywhere in the top 10, depending on your day, because Harakiri is an absolute monument of filmmaking. Quite possibly the most popular answer after Kurosawa films for the best samurai films ever made. I think that's very, very solid. But yeah, it's a mash of. I think the setup with Nakadai kind of in the courtyard, sort of in this very vulnerable state, but slowly gaining power through the story with how the story develops. You know, this man who's very vulnerable at the start, he's at the mercy, and then totally flips the script by the end of the film. I think there's something incredibly powerful about that storytelling, and incredibly resonant of it. And then all of the other flips and tricks. I love the use of verticality of the courtyard, kind of looking down at them at different angles, and the way that you use that same scene over and over again and represent it in different ways to show different things. It's just like, I think you said it in your video recently, Ronan, how Kobayashi hasn't got a film in the top 100 films ever made is just absolutely mind-boggling. And if there was one going to make it, even though I'm a stan, just like yourself, for the human condition, I can get why a 9-hour film doesn't make the list. This is mind-boggling. Harakiri is brilliant.
Yeah, I left it off the list because I thought at least one person would have it.
Yeah, me too. It was like I went for someone else, but the director, I was like that thing. I was like,
yeah, I'll talk about it later, but yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll go now for my other favorite film. It was on my top 4 in Letterboxd. I'm not going down. I'm just going by. I'm trying to get mine out of the way before it gets stolen. Exterminating Angel, the Buñuel film, one of my favorite films of all time. It's beautiful. It's funny as hell. It's savage satire, but it's also an absurdity of human condition and how we're all basically lemons for the convention. And we follow rules we don't understand. We follow altars we don't understand. We always try to be polite, and we make a mess of it all, and we can be absolute savages at the time. And it's just wonderful. And it's still one of those things. A lot of Buñuel films is like, how did he get financing for this? Like, ever? Because there's so many of them. They're like, how did he get this into production? This one especially is like, it's amazing, but it's also like, it's mind-boggling they got money for this. It's just a wonderful film, just beautiful. One of my favourites. So I've got my two favourite films from the 60s in early.
I left it off the list because I knew you would pick it. See, that's how nice I am.
That's how human you are.
Yes, that's how human I am. I left that on off. It's
All right,
fantastic.
good.
And the ending's just hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it too, but
saved.
but it wasn't on my list, even though I love it. But
Yeah. Well, I think everyone knew I'd camped out in this one.
Yeah, so my next one, I know Ronin is a big fan of this film, but probably not in his top 10, but it's Letter Never Sent by Mikhail Kalatozov, a great Russian film. And if I had to think of perfect adjectives to talk about this movie, I think awe-inspiring and unbelievable would be ones, because it's the cinematography here is just so unbelievably gorgeous, and it just makes you constantly think that how could they make a film like this, before CGI and things like that, that did they actually light a fire in the Siberian forest and stuff. It just looks so amazing, and it's just the film is for the most part a vibe and atmosphere piece. It doesn't have much of a plot. It's just about these people being in the forest and trying to survive after the fire, but it has so many incredible shots. For example, in the end, when we see this old guy and his face, and it's just one of the best close-up shots I've ever seen. But this is such an incredible film. I think maybe some people wouldn't rank it this high because it's mostly an aesthetic piece and it's not the most interesting film thematically, maybe. But I love these types of films more than I love any other type of films. So it was obvious to me that I had to have it here. So
yeah, it's an absolute stunner. Everybody probably died of smoke inhalation after the shot, but it's hilarious when you see YouTube reactors saying, "Oh, I didn't think a film from the 60s would be good," and it's like, yeah, they invented everything. It's like, yeah, it's an absolute stunner.
Yeah. It's just because people are ignorant. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They talk before they actually learn anything.
Yeah, black and white cinematography, Kalatazov, it's just ridiculous.
Amazing.
My next choice, I don't know whether people would have it, perhaps. It's from 1969, right at the end. It's Army of Shadows.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
From Paul Melville.
That was my next one I was going to choose.
A little bit of an outlier. It's not about gangsters. It's about resistance, and it's suitable that the color palette is that grey, blue, because it is a world of grey. There's no black and white like certain mainstream resistance films. This is all grey. It is 145 minutes, but for some reason it flies by, even though it is fairly slow paced. Great performances. I mean, Lino Ventura is like so underrated, even though he just plays gangsters and cops for most of his career. Again, just that beautiful palette. Some people might say it's cold, but it's just perfect for such a shady world. And a great kind of later performance with Simone Signoret, who was one of those female actors who didn't care sometimes if she looked bad. There's lots of them that did. But Simone Signoret was more about the material than how she looked. It's just fantastic in this. Everybody is. And it's just fantastic. I think I've said fantastic 10 times. But
yeah. I mean, another 10 times would do justice. It was my number one, and it for good reason. I actually think Army of Shadows is a bit like the crowd that says I didn't know about films this could be made in the 60s and stuff. It would be the film I think I would give people to say, watch a subtitled film or a film back, don't expand your cinema horizon, because I can't imagine watching it and not thinking this is fucking incredible on every level. Like the lighting and everything in the film is just off the charts, and you get such a good sense of the danger and the kind of how everything was sort of on a knife edge. And then obviously the scene towards the end when they're firing range and all of that kind of stuff, very very, very powerful. What a film.
It was just outside my top 10, so it would have been in top 15, but I knew that at least Ronin was going to pick it. So.
Yeah, it's always the thing is they go through hell and all that stuff, and then you realize it's just by years past. There's so much more to do, and it's like, and everyone seems decimated, and it's like, God, that's just a year of resistance. That's the kind of
yeah, and there's some kind of almost cheery resistance films, and kind of it was a big game, and it was just like,
we all just wanted to be part of the gang kind of thing. It was
I've never seen the Daniel Craig resistance film, for example, or
okay, me number 8.
Yeah.
There's a chance somebody else might have this. This is Satyajit Ray's Charlana is at number 8. Probably my favorite Satyajit Ray film. This story of this young wife who becomes bored and of kind of forbidden love and all of that kind of stuff. I like a lot of Ray's films. Oh, there you go. Like a lot of Ray's films, it's more than the sum of its parts in a lot of ways. It just has almost an uncanny ability to try to transport you there into the room with people, even though that is not a room that I'm culturally aware of, if that makes sense. He always makes you feel like you are making the decisions that the characters are making all of the time, and you can kind of feel the repercussions of that, etc. And of course, there is some fabulous, filmmaking. I mean, the swing scene in this is truly one of the great cinematic pieces of the whole 60s, I think, as well. I think Charlotta is brilliant on multiple levels.
Yeah, it made the alternate list. It almost made it, but yeah, it's a hard film to describe why it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
But again, you just want to spend time with these people.
Yeah, I also think it's great, but not on my list. So yeah.
Yeah. So my next one is already been mentioned. Human Condition Part 3, because it came out in the 60s and the other two came out in the 50s. So it still works as we can still get it in here. And it is my favourite of the three films. It's so brutal. It's so just horrible what happens to the character. It is fairly devastating as a film. You just cannot believe how brutal this film gets. And it's just a beautiful film, even though it's about some of the worst conditions possible and how wars can destroy individuals, not just the big theories of what's happening in the war. It's like this is what happens to the people involved and how they get absolutely destroyed because of others' foolishness and ideals, and just how horrible war is altogether. So this is just a stunning film. I just thought I can't leave it off because it's part 3.
Yeah, I decided.
Was that?
Yeah, I decided to leave them out, both from the 50s and 60s, because some of it was in the 50s, some of it was in the 60s. So.
Don't worry, you have me here to break the rules, to be a rebel. I just couldn't leave it out. I just was like, nah, it's too good to leave out.
I mean, you're not wrong, Peter. At the end, especially as he's walking through, it's just devastating, honestly. Like, it's just having spent so much time both admiring, being angry at that character, going through the whole rake of emotions to kind of see how it ends up in this kind of this feeling that, what was it all for? What was it all about? All the heartache and pain and stuff like that. Just what a film. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think, as I've said in one of the videos on it, it's extremely difficult to make an 80-minute film that's good, let alone 9 hours. That just absolutely fly by.
Yeah. I think it's. I've said this before. There is a thing that on anybody's cinematic journey. There's life before you've watched Human Condition, and then there's life after you've watched Human Condition. I think it is that more monumental. Some people might say that about Jurassic Park, and I'm not one to disagree with them in that way. But I think it's different. A different realization about the power of storytelling, I think, rather than what visually can do.
Not bad for Nakatai's first starring role.
Yeah, I mean, he was okay. To be honest, I'm surprised he ever worked again after that. Just for I couldn't do that every day. Holy shit.
A modest achievement to start with.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I got the 3 I really wanted. I'm happy now. You can start trashing my list now. I'm fine. I got the ones I wanted.
Oh, good. Open season.
Yeah.
Although there's a couple other ones that I'll be disappointed if you take them, but not quite as disappointed.
Cool. Well, my number 7 is another Japanese film, and we did a podcast on this on Chris's channel 2.5 years ago. So, Funeral Parade of Roses by Toshio Matsumoto, a huge classic of Japanese New Wave. It's all about the gay and trans culture in Japan in the 60s. And this has become such a hugely popular film in, I think, the last 5 to 10 years. I think before that it was pretty unknown and underrated, but now it seems to be like maybe even the most popular film of the Japanese New Wave, which is crazy, but also amazing to see. And this is just one of the best films where we have a non-linear narrative where it has interviews, we have flashbacks, then we have the present moment. It mixes so many different techniques together that it's like a good experiment, but it's an experiment that really works as a film. And of course it's very transgressive. In some ways it's a bit outdated, like those interviews, but not that outdated in the end that it would like bother me when I watch it, and it's of course understandable because it was 60 years ago when this was made. But yeah, incredible film, I think. Yeah, and the director's best. I've seen quite a few from the director, but this is clearly his best, I think.
It was on my short list, and I don't know whether I'm speaking out of turn, but sometimes some new wave films don't really work, and you watch them, but you'll probably never watch them again. Whereas Funeral Parade of Roses does have a high rewatchability factor, whereas some new wave films are kind of one and done for me.
I mean, I love it. It was quite high up my list. Let's say that. But I just think that again, multiple thematics, this kind of discussion of the masks that people wear in public, the ones that they wear in private, and for a film that seems to be, I don't know, sort of weird to follow at some stage, it definitely hammers home the message at the end. But it all becomes clear at the end. Oh, it's such a great fucking movie. Jesus, love it.
Yeah, well, I'm the one who hasn't seen it, even though I've got it. But we'll get to it.
Good.
I have it. It's back there. It's on with that pile there that might follow me and kill me. You know.
And people should go watch that podcast on Chris's channel. We even talked about Rennie Harlin's The Covenant and stuff. So it was really fun.
Oh, wow.
I always have to get that in somewhere. So.
Yeah.
Between Peter's projector stories and Rennie Harlin mentions, there's always a couple of constants throughout the podcast. It's always good to hear.
Yeah, I just do it to be annoying. It's like there's nothing else. It's just gratuitous.
Whereas SGS is celebrating always
Yes.
the life and work of the master.
Yeah.
Finished legend.
You don't know because of the projector is in 3D, right? I can now watch Rennie Harlin's Legend of Hercules in 3D.
Yeah. Jesus
if I want.
Not everybody can say that.
No.
Or we
Rennie Harlin has been on the headlines lately in Finland because he and his 30-year-old girlfriend have had a third child. So,
wow!
Congratulations! There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
And on that bombshell,
yeah,
this is definitely a film nobody will have.
Get it back in the reels, please. Get it back in the reels.
Yes. Even though it is a bit of a psychotic break of a film. Yeah, a film that nobody else will have, but I just absolutely adore it. I think it was the first time I saw it was in Moviedrome. It's Roger Corman's The Man with X-Ray Eyes.
I was waiting for this.
You can tell it's a favourites list and not the greatest list, but it packs so much into about 80 minutes. Obviously, it's about taking things too far. This was Ray Milland's second favourite performance of his career, along with The Lost Weekend.
Yeah.
He just loved this, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And the ending is one of the most nasty, brutal endings of all time. Ray Milland goes from putting eye drops and seeing naked people at a party to literally seeing the inner workings of the universe. And it obviously blows his mind. It's for me, it's almost perfect. Again, so much is packed into this little 80-minute B movie, but it's just so good.
Yeah. Roger Corman, the most underappreciated innovator in film history, quite possibly. I think very, very important. Yeah.
It may amaze you, but I've managed to restrain myself from doing any of the Vincent Price, Roger Corman movies. I've managed to restrain. There's none. Because I've another one that's kind of guilty pleasure in here, but not those ones.
Yeah. Oh, great film, man. No doubt. I did have 2001: Space Odyssey here, so I'm going to switch it out. Do another recommendation. And I'm going to go for a 1961 film. We're still in black and white. I haven't got the color film yet. We're going for Something Wild, the Carol Baker film from there, which is again underseen. You don't hear an awful lot of people talking about it, even though it is on Criterion or otherwise. It is. Jesus, it's another grim one. Carol Baker plays a cop who's raped at the start of the film, and basically the rest of the film kind of takes her on this journey of both hiding from that, figuratively, actually. And sort of how she processes and deals with that, and how it forever changes her relationships with the world and the people around her. It's harrowing. The Carol Baker is absolutely brilliant in it. one of those great performances, I think. And you know, for a film that's sort of set in New York, I believe it's in New York, there's a lot of it happens in one room, so to speak. I suppose if anybody wants another kind of one that nearly maybe top 30 would be a collector. It's not dissimilar in some ways for how they use that without necessarily being about the same thing. But Something Wild is really good and it should be seen.
Yeah, I think it was Grey 1951's channel that got me onto that. I have the Criterion DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Is there not a Blu-ray coming out at some point?
I thought it was.
Or did I dream that? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a really shocking little film for its time.
Yeah.
Maybe you dreamed it into existence.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that John Sayles box set. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Is it my turn then?
Yeah, Blu-ray.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going for something cheerful now, okay? I'm going for the War Game. The Peter Watkins film about nuclear war that was banned by the BBC that shows you the most devastating reality of what happens when the nukes go off. It's I guess 50 minutes or something. It's not that long, and it's just you wouldn't want it any longer because it's just so brutal about what actually happened during a nuclear attack and the aftermath and how people would be killed instantly and how people the survivors would wish were dead, and it is just the most brutal takedown of any propaganda about nuclear weapons ever. It's like, this is horrible, never use this stuff, this is why. And it's like, so this one's not an entertainment film, this is because it's an important film that more people should see. It's still the greatest film ever on nuclear war. Every other film around it looks sentimental in comparison even now. So yeah, this is just astonishing. So,
yeah, soon to get a 4K from Severin, I believe.
Yep. So you can see all the despair in 4K. You know.
Remember, if you take your door off your hinges and hide behind it, you'll be fine.
All right. I was thinking about hiding, in the shower and saying, "You can't get me. I've got a shower curtain. You, don't fuck you, nuclear blast." I'm sure that'll be fine.
Yeah, go to the toilet and show them your own nuclear blast.
Yeah. Oh, you went near it. Yes. I expect more from you.
Happy to disappoint.
All right.
Well, so my next pick is something that Nazarene just talked about in a video. So it's Aerospace Massacre Director's Cut.
Yeah.
So this is the longer cut, like 4 hours long, an incredibly difficult film to explain. So I'm not gonna do that. But I love this Yoshida film more as a mood piece and aesthetic piece. I love the brutalist aesthetic so much, like those steep angles. I haven't seen those types of angles in any other film by any other director. He has such a unique style, and you can't say that about that many directors. But this narrative, it's like jumps around between the past and the current time, and yeah, so even the narrative is as weird as the cinematography, and this is not even Yoshida's weirdest film, but this is probably his most famous one that people usually watch. And this was the first one I ever watched, and it just blew me away immediately. And then I went into this journey of watching, I think, 10 of his films. So yeah, I love the director a lot. So.
And my first one was Heroic Purgatory, which may have been the wrong film to start with, if you want comprehension. But it's perfect for me because I love weird shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. So.
Yeah.
And it will be in my 70s list when we do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was no. I liked Eros and Massacre, but I didn't love it as much as Heroic Purgatory or Coup d'etat. I liked those two more, but yeah, it's a great film. But again, there's no point in me choosing it because I knew you were going to choose it, so I was like,
yeah.
I have watched it. I liked it. We'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about it.
Yes. Yeah. My ambition now is to go into the Buddhist trilogy. It's like I can see up in my collection going, yeah, you're next. But after that's 3, I had thought I would take a little break. Then I'll go into that next one.
My next choice is a film that I've adored since I was a kid, but I absolutely detest the ending. And it's like, well, how can a film that you absolutely detest the ending still be one of your favourite films of all time? It's because it's The Jungle Book. The best Disney film of all time, the best villain of all time, even though he's treated horrendously at the end and doesn't get to disembowel Mowgli, the wee bastard. And it's just funny. Again, the best songs, the best villain. Sadly, not the best disemboweling. And again, Mowgli is arguably the stupidest protagonist in cinema history. Just because a wee girl wrinkles her nose at him, he gives up being friends with a talking Black Panther and a talking bear. What? Yeah. Hate the ending. Hate the tiger torture at the end. It should have just been a big vertebrae breaking and disembowelment of Mowgli at the end. But I still adore the film.
I like the remake more.
That's your prerogative.
Now just joke. I was trying to annoy you. I just want to see.
I was just saying that's a stunner.
Yeah. I just want to see the face change. It's like I do actually like the remake, but I prefer the original. But it's
I like the remake too. But
yeah.
That doesn't disembowel either.
I just want to see if your soul could leave your body.
Yeah, Mowgli is a wee pain in the arse, but
yeah. The thought of you dancing around your living room as Baloo singing the Bare Necessities, though, is an interesting thought to have, you know. But I understand it's not a banger.
It's just really, putting yourself in the place of Mowgli and, living that life would be amazing. And why would you give it up for getting married, having kids, getting a job, responsibility? I mean, Black Panther and a bear. I mean, I suppose you could go to San Francisco, but that's
But what if the bear gets hungry? Have you not seen Grizzly Man?
Yes. That's Baloo. He smokes weed and eats coconuts all day.
He's a bear.
Yeah. Maybe just think, I'm waiting for that boy to get bigger, then I've got a better meal.
Well, if they'd shot that would have been fine. No problem with
that.
Okay, next on my list.
Yeah, please, before we get any further.
Before we get any further, I mean, I could have done another 20 minutes in the Jungle Book, though. I think that's a very good shit.
Not the way Schrodin's going with some of these ideas. No.
I'll substitute in Funeral Parade of Roses for The Shop on the Main Street, the Slovak film from the 60s that tells the story of a guy who takes over a shop from a Jewish shopkeeper. Is basically told at the end of during the period where they were kind of taken over by fascist sort of rule, that he is going to be the supervisor of this woman who runs the shop. And basically, like a lot of these films that are Eastern European nature, the slow unveiling and using the fact that we as the audience know what's going to happen historically, and the slow revealing of that to the character essentially in the film as they sort of have, relationships and build relations with the people in the community around them, and then see the horror of actually what's going on around them. Like a lot of those films in Eastern Europe, I think they do a much more harrowing psychologically portrayal of what was happening there, whereas Western films tend to look for the pomp and circumstance and the wonder of the great battles without actually looking at the people so much. And I'm a sucker for that kind of film in many ways, but I think this does it so well because it's literally about a shop on a main street and how it sort of affected what couple of people within the community that's going on. I think it's great.
Yeah, great choice. The fact that you've got the wee kind of busybody who's so quick to join the fascists because it makes him important and he can take out his past grievances on people. It's a great film.
I suppose I should go next with something a bit different. Since I haven't seen that film yet, I've got it. I haven't seen it yet. It's not one of my backlogs.
Yeah, I like it a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. It's something realize I have a lot of backlogs too I should be watching. This is yeah. That's the problem with this video is like, God, I feel so ignorant suddenly.
Well, that's the reason that you do this video. It's to kind of sort of
Yes.
encourage that up your list, you know, for us and for anybody watching.
Yeah, no. So I'm going to go for a silly one this time, and not a war game kind of thing. I'm actually going for Danger Diabolique. Now, I could have gone. I was trying to think what Bava film could I go for because there's Kill Baby Kill, there's Planet of the Vampires, there's Black Sabbath. There's so many good 60s Bava films. That's just peak. But I thought I'd go for Danger Diabolique because it's such a pleasure to watch. It's so silly and ridiculous, and those other films I mentioned, you caught me in a different mood. I will go for them instead. But in this, I'm in the mood for Danger Diabolique because it is wonderfully absurd, pulpy, ridiculous. Also, a perfect example of that kind of movie. If you want to do a super spy film, it's based on a comic book. This is the film you want to see. This is like the Flash Gordon of the 60s, really. But maybe less camp, but still wonderful. Just like a total delight. And it is getting a new 4K release. And I'm getting very tempted now or more see it like advertised. I may be weak, but I haven't been weak yet. But I may get weak soon.
It's a very colourful box.
Yep.
Yes. I was weak for you. I've already got it. It dropped through the door last week, but I haven't got open it yet. But
yeah.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for Bava's colours and films. Like Blood and Black Lace nearly made my list as well. You know, for a film for a period of time that was doing a transition from black and white to colour. I mean, he pretty much embodies that in great spirit.
Yeah.
Well, the fact you can say Bava lighting and everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's not much more to say about it. It's fun.
Yeah, that's how to do a comic book properly.
Yeah.
So my next pick. So this I think we have all seen. So it's Persona. Yeah.
Yep.
My favorite from the director, and starring my favorite actress Liv Ullmann, and Bibi Andersson is great in this one too. I feel like in the last couple of years I've got a bit tired of Bergman, so I haven't been watching his films or rewatching his films that much. But this always ranks very high on my all-time list, and it's one of those films I would put in my like sight and sound palette if I had to make one. But this has incredible Sven Nykvist cinematography, like the contrast between the light and the dark is great. Again, the performances are absolutely amazing. Like when the two women just have discussions here, it's like very like how do you say? It's like very captivating. Even though the Liv Ullmann character doesn't talk that much, but still, the Bibi Andersson character carries it in those scenes. But this is just one of the best films about identity. I think this would be a great double bill with Mulholland Drive or some of the Jacques Rivette films. Yeah. As in many of those films, you have two women and it plays with their identities. But I don't feel bright enough today to talk about this like off the top of my head, because it's a very complex movie. But yeah, of course, people probably have seen it already. So
yeah. I've had different Bergman because I thought someone's going to choose Persona, so I thought I would get a different one. Because another one I really like as well. I have 3 or 4 I really like from that period, but it's like, yeah, someone's getting Persona.
Yeah, I mean, not my favourite, but certainly still fantastic and transgressive, certainly in the opening montage.
Yeah. And if you want to see some more in-depth look at Bergman in this channel, Ron and I did some videos about Bergman a few years ago. You know, we got the big box set. We still need to do more of them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we did stuff without you, and you know,
it's like
this kind of
really
self-promotion
is
not. It's not something that any four of us are pretty good at, but I'm liking this direction. This is good.
Yep.
Well, I've got quite a lot of films that I love that get lots of 1-star reviews, and this one's no different. But I've loved this ever since I saw it. Again, I'm going to BBC Two, and then it's a really almost pitch black DVD, but it finally got Blu-rays from Kino Lorber and the BFI. It's Richard Lester's How I Won the War. I've always absolutely adored it. There's lots of 1-star reviews for it, and just people talking about John Lennon, but it's a little bit more than that. It's funny, but obviously it's Richard Lester funny, so it's not everybody's cup of tea. But it is actually savage and brutal than more kind of recognised serious war films. Just the stupidity of it. The fact that these guys are sent on a mission to build a cricket pitch, which isn't really that more stupid than some of the stories you hear about world wars. There's a great little sequence about officers swapping trading cards of battles and stuff like that. It's just fantastic. Michael Crawford's best work. Roy Kinnear is just wonderful. Jack McGowan's actually tolerable in it. Michael Hordern and the Wiley Pathan. But yeah, Richard Lester, again, not for everybody, but I love films that aren't for everybody. And How I Won the War is just absolutely brilliant. One of Richard Lester's masterworks for me, because he's done a few.
Yeah, I mean, I said before we started I was going to use Patchouli in here, but it's changed my mind. It's like I've talked about it quite a bit. So it was like, that would have been mine for Richard Lester. I'm a big Richard Lester fan as well. I like that film, but the weird film Lester made that I really love is Bed Sitting Room.
Oh, I love the Bed Sitting Room.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm sort of waiting for Richard Lester to hit the same sort of fame and reverement that sort of Ken Russell gets, because I think, there's another kooky, weird British filmmaker that not everybody gets, but it's sort of become like the cool thing to talk about Ken Russell, and Lester should be in that conversation as well. Like his films aren't for everybody, but once they hit really, really hard.
Yeah, I haven't seen that film, so
it's the best thing John Lennon ever did, including the Beatles.
Whoa.
Yeah. Thanks for giving the hate mail. Yeah. Please, when you do the hate mail, say this is for Ronan just before we start. We disavow anything you just said.
I mean, you never know. John Lennon might agree with you. We'll never know.
Yeah.
His feet are probably still wet.
There you go.
And to be honest, Beatles fans are very toxic because they expect everybody to love their boy band from the 60s. But yeah.
Jeez, we're doubling down now. This is great.
Yeah, okay. You can send out hate mail to the Bulgarian too.
Yeah, I'm just defending Rolling here.
Yeah. I like the Beatles, so.
Yeah, I'm a Beatles fan as well. We're split down the middle here. That's good. So number 5 for me, I have had 5 black and white films, and I went for the first color film, and boy, is it a color film! It's Umbrellas of Cherbourg by Jacques Demy. As the musical fan within the group, maybe not a surprise. I actually was either this or West Side Story, which I equally love to find my spot. But yeah, colorful, has Catherine Deneuve in it. It's brilliant. It has good tunes. It has a great. I was going to say great storyline. It doesn't really have a great storyline. It's a kind of twee film the whole way through, like a lot of Demy's kind of stuff is. But it has, again, it's a French film, but it's not really a French film because it's, again, this sort of like dreamland escape that he's kind of made, that both, I think, and not quite as extreme, but Jacques Tati sort of did kind of created this dreamscape world that his films sort of exist in. But an awful lot of fun in it, and it is one of those films that, a bit like Ronan's Jungle Book, just puts a smile on my face. And nobody gets mauled in it either.
Yeah.
Can't have everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those films that I've actually got the disc from France, but haven't watched it yet, because someone else in this chat keeps on like bad mouthing Demy's films.
I love Bay of Angels and Donkey Skin.
Yeah, I know, but you keep
Um,
going like, actually, I'm going to watch this. And it's not that good. I'm like,
It's
In his
fine. I
opinion.
get why humans like it,
all right.
but it's not for me.
I'm just saying it's his fault I haven't watched them yet, but I've got them, but I will watch them. But I'm just putting on why I haven't watched them. It's because one fellow here that his negativity has tainted my.
The same
You
with
watch
the
a
Young
Viva?
Girls of Rochefort.
Yeah.
It's
gonna
a fine
say-
film. I get why people like it, but it's not for
Yeah.
me.
It's not exactly the first film. When I think of a Ronin film, these films are not the ones that come to mind.
Yeah. Right. Okay, my next choice. I'll go for my Bergman just now since we've had a Bergman. I'll go for Through a Glass Darkly,
Oh yeah.
which is a really good film. It's the first Bergman film I saw, and it one that really hit me hard because it has a bit of loss of faith and it's a bit of madness. And how do you deal with someone who's got mental issues? Like, how can you deal with them, and how can you? The concept of God, what is God to you? And in a world that's isolated and you can't really connect with people. I think it's just one of those Bergman films where all this stuff came together on this one. I really love the trilogy he did. That trilogy,
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Faith.
But this is probably still my favourite, probably for sentimental values, even though I really like the other two as well. But that's the first one I saw, and I think it's just very moving and very dark, and it's just wonderful.
That's a great choice, Peter. I'm a big fan of that as well. I think it's for all the reasons that you said. It has a mood and a sort of forlorn kind of feeling to it. Like you're sort of powerless in some ways, you know.
Yeah, it was on the short list, and again, as we talked about when we did our Bergman videos, I think Bergman's shot composition is like so underrated, and nobody really talks about it. But he knows how to frame a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Winterlight out of the trilogy the most, but none of those trilogy films are among my favorites from him. But I need to rewatch them. I've only watched them once. So
Yeah, that's again with Bergman, there's so many, so you can just choose what ones you like. 'Cause there's so many good ones. It's kind of underrated in the sense that everything's good. So people just don't talk about it as much now because it's all good. What's to say about it?
Yeah, it's pretty much one location, 4 people, but it's riveting.
Yeah. I really need to watch more of his films again because I've got that box set. We went through but quite a lot, and then we stopped for Bereaver.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Conan.
So this is a bit like Chris's last choice. So Ronin is in the huge fan of this, but it's The Nun by Jacques Rivette. Yeah.
My short list as well. Yep.
Yeah, I absolutely love Anna Karina in this. One of my favorite performances. But this is a bit different than the usual Jacques Rivette film because this has a pretty straightforward narrative. It's not that experimental, even though there are some experimental flourishes there. But it's about this 18th century nun who goes from convent to convent, and in every convent, she's pretty much treated badly, or something weird or bad happens in every convent. So it's a very depressing film. It's about like the feeling when you feel that you don't belong anywhere, that you are rejected everywhere, and you cannot be in peace, and you cannot be yourself anywhere. So I think people can relate to this film even if they aren't religious or if they aren't nuns. And again, I'm an atheist, but this is like top 20 films of all time for me. So absolutely love it. And it's such a beautiful looking film too. It's a bit more like, again, traditionally shot than many of his other films, because many of his other films have lots of handheld and lots of more experimental stuff, but this is pretty traditional in many ways and really beautiful to look at. But yeah, absolutely love this film, and I have watched it many times. So
Yeah. And we should stress that Forgiven is not a nun either, just so we're clear.
Yeah, I liked it. I just didn't love it. But I'm not smart. I'm not smart enough for Rivette. So
Yeah, I like Rivette a lot. I'm a big Rivette fan, but I've not seen that one. But I've got it. But I've not seen it yet. I'll get.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's absolutely terrific. And again, another one of those more than the sum of its parts. The thing that I think I like most about it is that it sort of skirts nearly with being an exploitation film, with the sort of the thematics of it, but never, because it's Rivette, never really goes there, in the same way as somebody else might have done it. They might have taken exactly the same plot, characters and all the rest, and done something very, very different with it, but it's sort of like got this power that it holds the whole way through it. And it's just the whole thing based is around her performance, just so good in it. Like, it's just brilliant in it.
Yeah, for our next choice might be a film that some people think doesn't belong in the 60s because it was made in 1960. An absolute classic that pretty much ended somebody's career for ostensibly. Peeping Tom had to be in here for me. Absolutely wonderful. Michael Powell is one of his best ever. Great performance, actually feeling sympathetic for a murderer, which was one of the reasons that got into trouble. He's not just a two-dimensional monster. Yes, it's dated in certain language and things like that, but it's still fantastic. The reveal is still wonderful. It's about the power of cinema itself. We, the audience, are as voyeuristic as poor Mark. Michael Powell makes a wonderful cameo, better than any of Hitchcock's cameos put together. Yeah, it's just an absolute classic. Still holds up despite obviously some of the language being a little bit dated. But beautiful, terrible, horrible film. But just fantastic, and it had to be in here even if it was made in 1960.
Yeah, it's a wonderful film. I've nothing else to say. It's just wonderful.
Yeah,
it's great. Need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in such a long time.
Yeah, some films you just say, yeah, that's amazing. That's what we can see.
Yeah, and another one of those cases, like the reaction at the time not kind of matching the reaction through history, being like the ultimate shame. Like, it's just ridiculous,
Certain people wanted it flushed down the toilet.
Yeah. What could have happened but for something different,
Yep. Yeah, top that one, Chris. Top that one.
Well, I'm not even going to try. So, I mean, another one of, I would imagine this is another one that Ronan will not like, given that it's French and twee and all that kind of stuff. But it's Francois Truffaut's Jules et Jim. The happiest story about a threesome that you'll ever see. And it's possibly the most French film I can think of in terms of kind of the way that it portrays these three characters, the kind of the devil may care attitude to life and about relationships and all that kind of stuff. But it has like a joy and a happiness that runs through it as well, even through its kind of sadder and more serious moments that are in the film. And like I do like Truffaut. The more that I watch Truffaut, the more that I sort of get into his headspace. Yeah, I like Jules et Jim.
Yeah, I like it. Don't love it. It's not one of my favourite Truffauts. I'm weird. My favourite Truffaut is probably Finally Sunday. It's kind of weird that he was spearheaded the new wave and was critical of kind of traditional filmmaking when he's the one out of the new wave that kind of made the most traditional films. It's kind of in genre films and stuff like that. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, I saw it in 35mm at BFI, so that was great, and I liked the film a lot. But Truffaut, I'm not the biggest fan of him because he's so traditional. I always say that he's the troglodyte of the French New Wave. So.
Yeah. I've got two Truffaut box sets I need to get into, basically. There's two of them. Like, I've got two of them as like, the Antoine Doinel one and the other one was like, I just have to start them.
Yeah.
I just see them, they're over there and they're like waiting for me.
Artificial light box sets, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my next one is a crime movie. It's Point Blank. John Boorman film. Lee Marvin. one of the great like genre films because it's a genre film from the 60s where they go completely insane with it, and it's a dreamlike structure, and you're not sure if Lee Marvin's dead and he's dreaming the whole film, or is he a kind of ghost walking through this plot, or what is he? He doesn't quite feel alive or dead, and it's almost a dreamlike structure of what's going on, while keeping enough of the reality there to give it a lot of ambiguities to it, and it's just a beautiful film. I've just got the 4K from Criterion, so I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm a massive Boorman fan, so this is one of my favorite Boorman films. It's just wonderful, just great, and and if someone doesn't like this film, I just think you poor bastard. That's it.
Yeah, I caved and got the 4K as well. I haven't watched it yet because I saw there was a bit with Jim Jarmusch talking about it. Yeah, it's amazing when you watch it how Boorman got away with it, because it is like avant-garde for an American Hollywood film.
Well, Lee Marvin just won an Oscar protecting him. That's how you get away with it.
Yeah, but it's just such a startling film, even watching it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer Hell in the Pacific, but Point Blank is good too.
Yeah, that's Hell Pacific's really good too.
Yeah.
What about Catch Me If You Can? Boorman's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
good.
You know,
It's a good film too.
not quite
So
Point
we'll pick
Blank.
that one up.
I know, but it's interesting.
It is. Of all of the kind of films that were made by musical acts, it's actually easily my favorite, even over Hard Day's Night or anything. Like, do you like that?
No,
Yeah.
no, I prefer Hard Day's Night, but this one's a good second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, it's like it's more interesting than Hard Day's Night in lots of ways.
Yeah.
But Hard Day's Night is just better made because it's the first one and it's still going in instinct.
Yeah, okay. I can see that for sure. Top four.
Well, yeah. Oh, it's top 3, I think. So.
Yeah,
Top
number
three,
3.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it is 3. I can't count.
Yeah. So this film has Toshiro Mifune as well, just like Hell in the Pacific, but it's Sword of Doom by Kihachi Okamoto. My second favorite samurai film of all time. And if we talk about nihilistic cinema, I think this would be maybe number 1 if I did a weird listing of like that one. But it's about this Ronin, again, played by Tatsuya Nakadai. And he's just loves murdering people and treating people like shit. And it's filmed in this like very dark looking black and white that looks great, like these amazing set pieces. And Toshiro Mifune, while his role is very small, but he's an important part of the film, and he is part of my favorite scene of this film in the snow when he goes all badass, like that scene. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's just one of the best and samurai film scenes of all time, I think. And this has also a beautifully manic ending, but it's not a perfect film. There are some plot lines that don't go anywhere, but I think it's because they were supposed to make sequels to this film. So some plot lines probably would have been continued in a sequel, but because they didn't do those, some of it doesn't make perfect sense, but I can kind of forgive it for that because it's just so amazing in every other way. But yeah, such an amazing film.
Yeah, it's a journey through hell, so it doesn't necessarily need to make sense. I need to rewatch it. It was on the short list, but because I haven't seen it for a while, I didn't want to put it in. Plus, I knew you would pick it. So.
Yeah.
It's close for me as well. I mean, the soundtrack, I fucking love the soundtrack. I actually bought the soundtrack. It's that good. And the sound design, again, the bit in the middle with the clinking and stuff always sticks in my head as being, oh, this is ridiculously well thought out and made. What a great movie.
For
It's on my backlog.
Of course, yes.
Have you watched any films?
I know, it's just like you should be choosing like of all the films I've watched in the 60s, you can't choose the ones that I'm going to watch that. It's like Jesus Christ. Last time it was you're choosing the film that I've chosen. This time it's like you're choosing films I feel guilty about not seen yet.
Is that bookcase behind you one of those ones that if you were put it forward, it just goes on for miles behind it?
It feels that way.
That's good.
Because I'm such an art house fraud who doesn't like Rivette or anything, I'm going to pick a Tarkovsky, but of course it's his shortest and it's his most mainstream one. But it's Ivan's Childhood. I absolutely love Ivan's Childhood. Again, even though it's his simplest and his shortest and his most mainstream.
You just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it.
No, I just don't get it. I should have picked his 10-hour one about a cheese factory.
Yeah.
But the cinematography is fantastic. It's bleak. The ending is tremendous. It's actually got a child in it called Ivan, strangely enough, who's not annoying, which is rare for films. Yes, again, you could say a little bit like Letter Never Sent. You know, it's not the most interesting story ever made, but just it's so gorgeous. And yeah, again, it's not complex and difficult. It's straightforward, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a 5-star film and one of my favorites, but didn't make the list. But, yeah.
I mean, they hate Andrei Rublev that much. It's, I actually haven't seen Ivan's Childhood. It's one of the few that I haven't of his. But yeah.
I think that was the first Tarkovsky I saw was Andrei Rublev.
Right. Okay.
Top class Bell action.
Yes, that's true. No, I need. That's in my backlog, Peter. I'll take that one. Thanks very much.
Okay.
I'll stick that in my list.
It's definitely wonderful.
Yeah. Number 3 for me. I'm going to go for one of the big epics, but not one of the American big epics. An Italian big epic, Luchino Visconti's The Leopard, which has like a superstar cast, Alan Delon, Burt Lancaster, but especially Claudia Cardinal. I mean, in all truthfulness, I'm not sure whether this is a great movie or Claudia Cardinal is just unbelievably beautiful in this film, to the point that I can't be objective about it. I think it's a really good movie, but I can't be 100% sure. It is one of those very powerful female performances in terms of like getting swept the way along. But I do like for the bit that we get later on, the kind of the historical setting that Visconti is able to capture in this with the battle scenes, etc. at the start. It gives it, I think, that extra punch and gives it that kind of more gravitas as it is. And yeah, Visconti's very good. To be honest, you could pick a lot of Visconti movies.
It's not a movie, it's Claudia.
I mean, Michael, I completely agree. It's like I'm just not sure that it should have been on the list because I could watch it with the sound off, and I might even like it more. Who knows? We'll see. But yes, the leopard is up there for me.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
Visconti's one of my blind spots. It's just like I really need to get into Visconti, but I'm just there's more directors out there, so it's just like, well he's one of the directors I need to.
Not a Yankee, which came out recently from Radiance, is a bloody fine place to start. I think
he's rocketed up my big board of Italian directors. The more I see of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but again, Lenotti Bianchi is my favorite Visconti. Yeah. And it will be on my 50th list, so when we do it.
Yeah.
Giving away too many spoilers.
Jesus, no. What are you doing?
Yeah, okay, my next one is actually quite highbrow. It's Gertrude, the Dreyer's final film, which I think is just wonderful and very sympathetic to this woman who's having, she's trying to find meaning in her life, and she's in love with a young man who doesn't really love her back, and it's a little bit just living her life and how horrible life can be. But Dreyer's his films are very simple in some ways, but also kind of complex in other ways. There's something to them. It's hard to explain why they're so good and so compulsive. It's almost like it's watching them, and you just get a sense of the world being complicated, people being complicated, and life being much more complicated than we like to let on. And even though you should just hate a young man for who he is, it's like that life's just like that. People get into horrible situations. That's life. And then a lot of films just don't get that. A lot of films just have to try and put a point of view across that's nothing to do with actually the way life's lived. So I just think Drea's amazing and Gertrude's stunning. So that's my next choice.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Drea, good filmmaker, confirmed. Yeah, definitely.
It was suddenly quiet.
Conan.
It's like
I'm begin taking a breath for Conan's top 2 here. This is big moments.
Yeah. Well, my top 2 have already been mentioned, but I'm thinking whether I should change them. But yeah. But Chris mentioned both of these already, so I don't know. But number 2, I mean, I'm not gonna change anything. It's Harakiri.
Yeah.
Masaki Kobayashi. Or seppuku. These days I call it seppuku. That's what they call it in Japan. So yeah. But this, I think, is in the conversation for being the greatest film of all time. It's as good as The Human Condition. Like, this is just like perfect film in every single way. Like, the black and white cinematography is absolutely incredible. Just the shots in the corridors of the main location and the yard are just absolutely incredible. But then when he has those duels and when there's the big climax in the end, like, those are absolutely amazingly shot as well. And Tatsuya Nakadai, as always, he gives one of the greatest performances of all time. It's a brutal film, and I think people often kind of don't give the film justice when they talk about it. They just talk about the facade of being the samurai and the samurai code, but there's just so much more to it. Like, it has very similar themes as The Human Condition, but the setting is just very different. It explores the relationship between individual and the society and the authority. Like, we have the Tatsuya Nakadai character challenging the ways of the samurai, but we can also see he's challenging hierarchy, he's challenging the wider society. So not just the like samurai code. And I think people should start reading the film a bit more in a wider thematic way and not just focus on the samurai code. But I always say that about this film, but incredible film, perfectly crafted, and it doesn't get better than this. So yeah.
It's an amazing film. It's amazing. It's stunning.
I mean, the blocking scenes, as you sort of mentioned, and the interior shots with the pillars. I mean, how he manages to pull that off. Every time those scenes come up in that movie, I'm just like, Jesus Mary. Like, there's so many pillars used, and yet everybody's in frame. And I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, nothing to add apart from it's not good enough for sight and sound.
Yes, it isn't. That's right.
Yeah.
We just need to be added as voters. I mean, that's it,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
We
Which is better than them.
Yeah. Even though I think the next list will be somewhat different from the last list.
Yeah.
For my second choice, this might be a bit of a surprise. Saw it years ago, just had it in Criterion DVD, loved it, but haven't seen it for decades. Then Umbrella released it, and I watched it like twice. As somebody who thinks about existence all the time, Louis Malle's The Fire Within, Le Faux Filet, Will o' the Wisp, whatever you want to call it, absolutely fantastic. Just set over, is it a weekend? It might actually be shorter than a weekend. Maurice Rene gets out of his sanatorium, decides to top himself unless his ex-friends and lovers try and convince him otherwise. It's just a very short road movie as he just goes around these groups of people, like his ex-political friends who gave up their politics and just had marriages and kids and just kind of became part of the rat race. And he's just kind of more disillusioned as the film goes on. Obviously, if it was remade in America, the ending might be somewhat different. Maurice Rene is fantastic. The whole cast is wonderful. It just has a wonderful mood. It doesn't stay longer than it needs to. And it's just quite fantastic. And watching it again, it's just fantastic. I mean, I said fantastic again, damn it. Yeah, The Fire Within and Elevator to the Gallows are just so fantastic. I have to say it again.
I know it's getting boring, to be honest.
Yeah, are just wonderful.
Yeah.
For
thank God.
For a filmmaker, making them when he was so young. Yeah, it has a personal resonance with me, and it's an excellent film.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I am going to get you a T-shirt that just says "Say Fantastic." That's it. You can wear it in all your videos. I actually haven't seen it, even though you have been pushing that film quite nicely for a while. I'm not paying for the umbrella.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a masterpiece and my favorite Louis Malle film. Yeah, keep cool and stay fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one. I've got it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've got the Louis Malle box set thing. Yeah, it's like
and the Blu-ray.
And I know he's been playing it for a while, but I still haven't watched it because I'm a dick that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2, which really would be number 1 because Army of Shadows.
Yeah,
left. Actually, there's a chance that it might be somebody else's number 1 as well. It is Soy Cuba by Kalatozov, or I Am Cuba, if you want. A propaganda film, which is strange. A propaganda film has no right to be this fantastic as it goes. But the kind of interweaving of these multiple stories into like a cohesive narrative of Cuba, the island, and almost by the end of it, Cuba, the island, is the character for all of the people, and the way he uses kind of movement of the camera to kind of go from the ground up and down the whole way through the film. I mean, Kalatozov's use of verticality in cinema and movement of verticality in cinema through all of his films that I've seen actually is something to behold. But like I say, for something that was followed by the government, it is just the most like eye-opening and beautiful kind of picture of a society and the kind of changes that it was going through, etc. as well. And I sort of talked about Godard being sort of his films at that late 60s sort of being this historical document. This is as well, and just sort of get the feeling of why certain places kind of hold such resonance for people and why the fight for it, etc. Especially the final story about the farmer. It really cuts deep. I really like the sequencing of the stories in it as well, in terms of how it kind of goes through it, because I think it should have went the other way from the farmer to the high class society, but it actually goes the other way, which I think is really, really, really powerful. And I love Soy Cuba.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. The 4K looks stunning. I mean, well, it does kind of go off to a kind of slow start, and after watching these other films, it was like, okay, when's this going to kick off? And then it kicks off, and then it's literally just the fact that Kalatozov took, he didn't make that many films. I think he's almost been the most mentioned director on this.
Yeah, that's true.
Episode. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. And again, people are still trying to figure out how he did some of those shots in the tops of the buildings.
Yeah, it's a terrific film. If you want, I'm interested. Cody and the Bulgarian Night actually talked about this film when we were doing a discussion about politics quite a few years ago. We talked about it. Yeah, so if you go back to my channel, you can probably find that one. It was we discussed that in detail, but it's great.
So much channel lore in this episode.
I know.
It's just we're very deep people, and we've got so much to say, and we can say I reference my own work.
Bravo.
So since it's my turn, I'll show you how deep I am. For a few dollars more.
First Western.
Yeah.
For 60s, this is surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yes, everyone loves Good, Bad, and Ugly. But I'm talking about my favourite of these films. It's probably for a few dollars more. It's probably my favourite. It's just wonderful. I think the Lee Van Cleef character makes it because of his revenge for the death of his sister. I think it's great. And a combination of him versus Eastwood, because Van Cleef's got the depth and Eastwood's got the cynicism, and it just makes a great partnership that's really fascinating and funny, because they manage to keep it entertaining because of what Eastwood's doing, but also there's some depth because of what Van Cleef's doing. They've also got Volonté as a perfecting his villain. Like, he's never going to get we went to naturalism after this film, but this is peak Volonté villainy. And I think it's a beautiful film, and the end's terrific. And I just think it's wonderful. So I thought someone must stand up for a few dollars more on this one. And it's me.
Yeah, I mean, I want to thank you all for taking me on this cinematic journey over the last 8 years, because, you know, my experience of Volonté was literally those two Leone films, and now look at me. I mean, Volonté is like the man, and I only really knew him from spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Yes. So.
Well, number one.
Well, number ones now. Although my number ones are, I just go by my list's all over the place. It's not really.
Well, the 10th choice.
Yeah, my 10th choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bulgarian.
So like I said earlier, Chris already mentioned this, but I have to mention it as it is my favorite film of all time. But The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, so by Academy. It has become a tradition to watch this every Valentine's Day. That's how much of a hopeless romantic I am. But yeah, beautiful movie with like my favorite set design and cinematography of all time. I just want somebody to decorate these boring white walls here. Well, I like that and make my life bit more like sunshine, not dark. Yeah, but anyway. Beautiful film with Catherine Deneuve at her peak, and the main lead is great as well. I always forgot his name, but they are great couple and very sad but beautiful ending. And Chris said that maybe the story isn't that special, but I think it's very special, even though it's basic in some ways. But it's beautiful in a very human way. But yeah, it's definitely the aesthetic is the main thing that I love about it. Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah, and he's tainted my potential watching it by his cynicism.
It's a fine film.
Yes. I will watch it soon, actually. It's on my high to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too gay for the macho men from Scotland, so yeah.
I haven't watched it. I want to, but I'm being tainted by someone's cynicism.
It's not gay enough, that's the problem.
You know, whenever the Ronan Nazarin Talks, cinematic, weekend of films programming gets put on, it'll be notable for the fact that during some of the choices, each one of the four of us would walk out and leave.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of the game.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Well, for my number one, it was going to be a choice of two, but I went for the one that's been in my life the longest. The one that I probably saw 30 times before I really knew what cinema was about. It is, of course, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Even although Once Upon a Time in the West for me is the better film, but The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is more fun. And as I said, it's been in my life for so long. You don't really need to say too much about it, apart from I actually prefer the theatrical cut rather than the little added bits. But again, that's just what I'm used to after having seen it 50 times in that version. I still think it is the best written kind of relationship between men who would happily kill each other in a second, but also respect each other. I don't think it's ever been bettered for that. And the kind of run of sadism that kind of runs through the film, but with a smile on its face. It's just wonderful. Again, for any filmmakers out there, it's how to do a 162-minute film and not feel like it's dragging. Obviously, Once Upon a Time in the West does that as well. Leone had that magic of, yes, he's got these long shots, but for some reason the film doesn't feel like an absolute slog. buys that the good actually has a higher body count than the bad or the ugly. The good actually kills more people than the two of them, the bad and ugly do, which I don't think would be lost on Leone. And it's got quite a good soundtrack as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Another one of those good movie. Not much more else to say about those films and any of Leone's films in many ways.
Yeah.
Chris?
My final choice. So I'm just going to pluck one from my others list to be my number one. And well, you could talk about the other two big westerns, Once Upon a Time in the West, Great Silence, that haven't been done. I could pick maybe the best. There you go. You could pick the best Hollywood movie of the 60s, which is probably Midnight Cowboy, I think. At that stage, that could be argued. I'm going to pick for something a bit more left field, and one that I know everyone really likes as well. But I'm going to go for Red Angel by Masamura, because why not end on probably the most miserable film of all time? In some ways, the story of a nurse kind of making her way and help, just somebody that wants to do good for people, and the absolute horror of people, how they will treat another person. As I go to Wakao is obviously incredible in this, as she always is, but it's absolutely miserable by the end of it. You will not feel good as a human being by the end of it, but it is incredibly powerful and a depiction of the other shitty side of war, probably in some ways, aside from the battles themselves. But yes, very, very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Love Masamura.
Yeah,
would have been on my top 50, not top 20 at least.
Backlog. I've got it, but I haven't watched it yet. It's like, but you think you're miserable? You can top me for miserable? Because
what have we got?
Well, so see, I had a choice of two different miserable films, both with women protagonists. I was like trying to choose which one to go for. And I'm going for Infirm Deuce, about women's suicide and try to find out why she committed suicide. And there was also the choice of Machete, which is also astonishingly miserable.
Oh yeah,
you know, there's I mean, the 60s were good for miserable women who are tortured. But Infirm Deuce is one of my favourite Bresson films, as is Machete, actually. But I'm glad that Radiant's finally come out with a proper Blu-ray version, because it's been years waiting for something decent. Now I have fingers crossed for Four Nights of a Dreamer, because it's the other one that's hard to get hold of. I thought we'd get Four Nights of a Dreamer before we got Infirm Deuce, but nope, we got Infirm Deuce first. Infirm Deuce is just amazing. I adore it. It's just a great film, and I don't want to explain too much, but just go watch it if you haven't seen it. It's stunning.
I concur.
I haven't seen it. It's on the backlog. There you go.
Yeah, it's good.
We end on a high note. There we go.
Yes. Yeah. Each of our top films in the backlog. Yep, that's good. So anyone got like more honorable mentions?
Once Upon a Time in the West, which has been mentioned.
Yeah.
Z or Z by Costa Gravis is fantastic.
Gravis,
Get really into Costa Gravis. Masamura with Sasha's wife.
Yep.
Or anything with Ayako Wakeo.
Mm-hmm.
The Trial.
Yep.
Kwaidan.
Yep.
Where's the 4K for this? Probably not allowed
That's
again.
true.
Eyeballs, cheeks type thing.
Yeah.
Last year in Marienbad.
I was waiting. I was looking at.
Yeah,
I thought this was definitely going to be on your list. Yeah.
It was close. And the John Sayles recommendation, The Organizer, more jelly with a different Mastriani than you've ever seen before. And the Yojimbo Sanjuro. I didn't have one Kurosawa, bizarrely. Yojimbo Sanjuro.
Nobody did.
Yeah,
Redbeard.
Yeah, Redbeard. I love Redbeard. Sanjuro was one of those ones that was kind of, I wasn't going to make the list, but it was always going to be in my kind of like Jimbo as well, but Sanjuro, a sentimental spot. I've got Requisant, which is a spaghetti western that's underrated. Ivan's Childhood, Coach to Vienna, Daisies, The Gospel According to St. Matthew, The Servant, Battle of Algiers, Three Outlaw Samurai, Simon the Desert, Immortal Story, Hell in the Pacific, Wavelength, A Report on the Party in the Yes, and the Ray Harryhausen stuff like Jason Argonauts, Medium Cool, Great Silence, Dragon Inn, Branded to Kill, Sorrow and Pity. Try to see what else I've got. That's El Cid, Target, Switchfield General, Bullet for the General. There's lots of generals. Fabulous Van Munchausen, Chimes at Midnight, Belle de Jour, Viridiana, Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
Looks like any film from the 60s.
Yeah.
No, these are my 5 stars. Manchurian Candidate, Lolita, Andrew Rublev, Trial of Joan of Arc, Hazard Baltazar, La Ventura, Red Desert, La Jetée, Blow Up. Okay, that's me.
There are some films left over for me, thanks, Peter. I
just thought
I'll go from a non-Japanese because a lot of mine are Japanese. So Contempt, I have, even though the ending isn't fantastic. Cremator, obviously by Uri Hertz.
I left that one out for you. I've got that one must too.
Oh, did you? Did you say I must cut out? Tunes of Glory, the Mills and Guinness film, which I like a lot. And then, and then I'll go for 3 Japanese films. So the 2 that always get grouped together in my head because they're similar: Onibaba and Kuroneko. 60s films, and then the most recent watch that's made the list. It's always good to know when you watch a film that's just been released. Ronan's probably already done a random review of it 4 years ago, and that's Cruel Tale of the Bushido, which is another miserable film through the generations that I could have mentioned, but it's excellent.
Top class misery.
Yeah.
Onibaba's great, but I haven't seen it since I was about 20, so it's like I need to rewatch it because it's been so long. I remember images more than details.
Yeah. Simple stuff.
Well, my turn. I'll try to mention just ones that haven't been mentioned, but 8½, An Autumn Afternoon, Cleo from 5 to 7, Days of Wine and Roses, Death by Hanging, The End of Summer, The Face of Another. This one has one of the best titles, Go Second Time Virgin, Burying Old Alive, The Graduate. What was this one called? Happiness of Us Alone. Underrated Japanese one. If, Il Sorpasso, Hot Cat, La Notte, Late Autumn, L'Eclise, Lola, which is the Jacques Demy one, Marketa Lazarova, that was just outside my list. The Married Woman, Muriel, My Night at Maud's, The Passion of Anna, Pierrot Le Fou, The Plea, Psycho, Purple Noon, The Red and the White, Red Desert, The Roundup, Samurai Rebellion, The Saragossa Manuscript, The Servant, Shame, Silence Has No Wings, Spring for the Thirsty, The Valley of the Beast, The Virgin Spring, Vivre sa vie, Wall Engravings, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Woman in the Dunes, A Woman is a Woman, and then like 20 of the films that you also mentioned.
There's a lot of films in the 60s that are great. I mean, so many films in the 60s, they were released in the 70s or 80s, they'd be like the lead list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I have my issues watching it, but Death by Hanging is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's not even fantastic, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But not phenomenal enough for your top 10.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't even for me.
If it had been fantastic rather than phenomenal, it would have made it.
Yeah. So what decade do you want to do next? Do we move on to the 70s? Since we've had the 60s.
I mean, sure. I mean, I haven't had enough stress in my life. 70s is a good one to go for. Yep.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be good to see you suffer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Word of warning for the 70s, there may be some English language films in it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, my list might not have any.
Yeah. Yeah. That's almost a subtle way of saying "fuck you, you losers."
Yeah. Fuck Jaws, fuck The Godfather. We can burn every copy of those piece of shit films immediately.
This is why this is a good mix of people.
Yeah. Yeah, the big question is how weird will it get in the 70s? Because the 60s is serious, the 70s is weird in lots of ways. Like, what idea do Zardos?
Yeah, where's the 4K of Zardos? A
Yeah,
box set here with a red nappy attached.
yeah. Yeah, so 70s good then.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember them
right.
well.
Yeah, we give Ronan a decade to figure his list out. Oh, should be okay.
Oh boy. I'm just how bad this is gonna be. Looking at
Yeah,
my
I'm just writing down like best of 70s so I know like that's next. So we hope you enjoyed this, everybody.
Yes, thanks for watching.
We're still live, so hope you enjoyed it. Hope you come back next time. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.